Hey guys, my name is Haley and today I'm going to be filming a tag video. I was tagged by Meg from Meg Talks Life to do the Ruler of Books tag, and this is a tag I've been wanting to do for a while, so let's get started. Question number 1 is, what book would you make everyone read? I tried to go with a slightly less obvious one for this, so like not Harry Potter, but I think I would go with If You Feel Too Much by Jamie Torkowski. He is the founder of the movement or organization To Write Love on Her Arms, which is a suicide prevention program for people who are struggling with depression. And I don't think there's a single person on this planet that could go through, read this entire book and not feel something, like not be emotional about it or not be affected by it in some way, because it's that powerful. It's basically a collection of essays from Jamie's blog of like people he's met and people that he's helped or people in his life that he's lost. And it's just so moving and so powerful, and I would highly recommend it to literally anyone. Question number 2 is, what would you abolish in book construction? And I'm gonna go with an obvious one for that and say cover changes, especially when the cover change happens like in the middle of a series. I don't have the book with me, but one that immediately comes to mind is The Perfect Ruin. I think it's called The Internment Chronicles is the name of the actual series, but I loved the cover of Perfect Ruin by Lauren DeStefano, and then they changed the covers for the second and third one, and they're not bad covers, but I loved the first one so much more, and it makes me really angry. Another one, Queen of the Tearling. First one was so beautiful. Why? Question number 3 is, who would you commission to write you any book? And I actually thought about this one for a while because there's a lot of people I would pick, like, I don't know, J.K. Rowling. But I decided to go with Laini Taylor because I think her writing is just beautiful. And anything she writes, even if it was like not even the most interesting plot idea, I would probably love it because her writing is that beautiful. Question number 4 is, what book would you demote to the library basement to make room for other books? And for this one, I'm gonna go with Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire. I hated that book so much. The only reason I ended up finishing it is because it counted for like one of the challenges during, I think it was TBR Takedown. And I got halfway through it and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, but I want to count it for this challenge. And I'm super competitive when it comes to readathons, so I did it anyway. But I immediately unhauled that book as soon as I finished it. And I've never been so happy to get rid of a book. It was so bad. It just had such an incredibly problematic like relationship. It's like, it's new adult, and yeah, thank you. Question number 5 is, what cover artist would you commission to make you a mural? And I'm going with another obvious one, and that is Jim Kay, who does the illustrated Harry Potters, and he also did the art for A Monster Calls, I believe, which was beautiful. The art was beautiful in there too. I just think that he could illustrate anything, and it would just be the most stunning thing ever. I don't even know what the mural would be. Probably something Harry Potter. Question number 6 is, what character's face would you put on a coin? And I'm going to go with Aragorn from The Lord of the Rings. This is specifically The Return of the King by J.R. Tolkien. And this was Meg's answer, and I'm stealing it because as soon as she said it, I couldn't think of anyone else. Like, the only other person I can think of is maybe like Dumbledore or Gandalf, but I think I would much rather have Aragorn's face on a coin because he's one of my favorite characters of all time, and I've loved him since I was very, very young. And question number 7 is, what book would you award the Ruler of Books to for 2016? And that's really hard for me because I've read actually a lot of really good books, and I'm actually currently reading a book that's probably going to be up there on my favorite books of 2016. But I thought since pretty much most, if not all, of my like top 10 or however many books I decide to do at the end of the year, that I would go with one that isn't a fantasy, because most of them will be. And I just picked a book that I think is really important and is definitely the best contemporary I've read in a really, really long time. And that is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I have not read her previous book, Everything, Everything, yet, and I wasn't even going to pick this one up right away because like I said, I'm not a huge fan of contemporary. It's very rare for me to read contemporary this time of year. Like, normally I only read it during like spring and summer. But with everything that's going on in the world, and I knew this book was about like a girl possibly getting deported, and I knew it was a very diverse cast of characters, so it also has one of my favorite tropes, which is when two characters meet and spend a very short period of time together, so like a couple hours or an entire day. That's one of my favorite things to read about because I think it's so fascinating. But this takes place over, I think it's 12 hours, and it takes place in New York City, so it has a lot of my favorite things in it. But it's also super informative on the topic of deportation and how all of that works, and how a person that is being deported or their family is being deported would feel. So I think it's very important. It's definitely the best contemporary I've read in quite a while, so I would award this to Ruler Books of 2016 for now. But yes, those are all of the questions. I don't know who all has done this tag, but Oshina, if you have not done this, I tag you because you're my go-to person for all tag things. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see all of you guys next time.